I could still ball. I know
You can
people
ball
talking
out.
about, yeah, I could ball a little bit.
Welcome, everyone. It's a new show that I'm doing called Outside the Grind. And it's just a conversation. We're going to be talking with different people. And the whole premise of the show is to not talk about your career, just talk about the person, their interests, passions, some of the history of who they are, etc. And our first guest is none other than the legendary Rizzo. Rizzo, thank you for joining me, man.
Thanks for having me. Nice to be here as always. Oh, come on, stop with the crowd. Yeah, silence, guys. Stop. Come on. No, I mean it's good to be here as always. I love talking to you, Hootie.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. So before we get too deep into the Dylan lore,
Oh,
watch out
geez.
now.
My real name. Okay.
Watch out. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Docs.
We'll talk about this past week. So it was a major. Obviously, you're a big piece of the RL esports ecosystem. Did you and Athena have fun?
Yes, we had tons of fun. I actually was thinking that San Diego was like I would say probably one of my favorite lands. Okay. I have kind of been saying that every land, but Rotterdam didn't hit as good. Rotterdam didn't hit, but like all the previous ones are really good, and every single time the next one would come up, I'd always be like, yeah, this is my favorite. This one's my favorite. Right. Rotterdam didn't hit the same, but San Diego was top notch.
What do you think? What do you think makes some of those your favorites? Like, is it when it's like within walking distance? Is it where you're staying? The people that are there? What do you think it is?
I think, having stuff to do, like after the event. Right. Oh, geez, I almost fell. Makes it a lot better. So like this whole event had basically the hotel that we were staying at was like right next to the venues, literally like a 3-minute walk if that. It was super nice. It was like on a pier, and you could just take the scenic route, or you could take the quicker one. But we always took the scenic route, all that stuff. And then there was so much to do. We were by I keep wanting to say Gaslight, but it's Gas Lamp. We were by the Gas Lamp district. Yeah. And there's so many restaurants and places to go, and then Little Italy as well, which was a little bit of a drive. San Diego has amazing food. Like all of Psionics, since their like headquarters is there, was like at the event. Right. And so I got to see a bunch of people who I had not seen in like 5 years. So that was really cool as well. But yeah, I mean, to actually answer your question, it's definitely about like where you are and like being able to do stuff after the event. Yeah.
I think you're right. I think a big thing for me is, and obviously it's different for every person, but I don't want to spend too much money on these. Obviously these are big trips and they get expensive. And then Ubers, God, dude, Ubers add up so fast. Brother. And it's such a nightmare trying to plan them. And then if you have a group bigger than like 3 people, it's just miserable. So I think for me, it's definitely like walkability and Gaslamp being right there. And like you said, there were so many bars and restaurants. Is there anything that stood out? Because me and Seabell had a sandwich that it was life-changing. Like I was almost in tears. It was a magical moment.
You have to tell me the place. There's no way you don't remember the place if it was that
No,
magical.
I do. Of course I do. It was called The Field. It was an Irish pub. We had a corned beef sandwich, and it had this Dijon mustard that, I mean, I'm not even kidding. We were throwing out all kinds of descriptive words. Like it had multiple personalities. It had layers to it. Like it was just... It was
that mustard will make your toes curl. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, dude. I'm not even kidding. It was life-changing. It was. If you go to his Twitter, he has a tweet about the sandwich. Like it was a big deal.
Oh, you said it was Seabell?
Yeah, Seabell.
Okay, I gotta see.
But man, it was something that we were giggling about for so long because it was just. It seemed like we were being dramatic because it's just food, but I don't know. It was something special about that sauce. You know, it had some bite to it. It was. It kind of like Dijon mustard, you know, like it can kind of get into the nasal cavity. It was just doing the most, and I really enjoyed it. And I'm not gonna lie, it kind of made me consider maybe doing like food critic stuff because it was an experience.
That dude. Okay. Oh my God, food critic stuff. That's so funny that you mentioned that. Okay, first off, I was just gonna say, I'm really glad you had a fantastic sandwich.
Thank you.
At this event, because I thought you were gonna say Crack Shack or the Friendly. Crack Shack is chicken sandwiches. The Friendly is burgers. Okay. Those. Oh man. Now we're talking about toes curling. These sandwiches make your whole body curl, Hootie. I'm telling.
Convulsing.
Yes, exactly. It's so good. Also, I see Seabell's tweet about he said still thinking about that sandwich. That's always so.
Yeah, it was so funny. Everybody, because there was one other person named John there, and he got the sandwich as well. So all three of us are having like this really intimate moment describing the sandwich and, going on and on and on about it. And everyone else is just looking at us like, y'all are freaking weird, dude. Like, just eat your food. And we were just having this big moment. It was a good time. Did you have any big moments with the food?
San Diego has incredible food. I think like Sis always, if you watch his streams or videos, every single video stream, whatever, he's always talking about food. So he always tells me San Diego has such good food. And
Yeah.
I mean, he gave me some recommendations. We went to this place that other people from San Diego recommended as well called Crack Shack.
Okay.
And that was the one I just mentioned as well.
Yeah.
And it was like this chicken sandwich place. But man, it was really good.
It was good.
It was incredible. It was a great chicken sammy.
The food was definitely good. I mean, we obviously didn't have a ton of time, but I also tried a place called Tacos El Gordo, and it was a recommendation of one of the Psionics employees, Ted, and I think some other people were talking about it on Twitter as well, and those tacos were freaking phenomenal. So definitely good food. I have not been there. And I think you pretty much nailed it as far as like summarizing some of those things that make a land like better or worse. It's really about, it's like when everything's close like that and it's walkable, it just feels like the community's just, packed in real tight. You can see people out on the street. So
yeah.
It's better than being secluded, like, in different hotels or Airbnbs and having to drive. So
yeah, right, when everything's super close like that, you kind of just get it's so easy to just be like, hey, come here.
Yeah,
and then people will just
walk over.
Go to the bar. Yeah, just walk right over to the bar, restaurant, whatever, because everything's so close. Which is, I think, is why also why like EU lands are really good, because just in general, EU doesn't have cars basically, so they just walk everywhere. So that makes it really easy.
Yeah. Well, we do have EU World Championship. I'm sure you'll be there. I'm certainly going to try to go. I've never even been to Europe, so I really want to go. I want to go a couple days early, or maybe like stay a little bit longer and maybe try to travel a little bit, but we'll see if it's in the cards. Well, with that, let's rewind a little bit. Let's travel back to the childhood.
It started when I was 6.
We're going way back. So with growing up, what were some of the things that you like to do? Were you involved in sports in school, maybe band? You were a gamer growing up, right?
I was a gamer. I was a gamer. I've been a gamer all my life.
The whole time.
I would say that's not true. I was going to say I probably play games less now than I did when I was younger.
Yeah.
Which I think is true. I definitely played more Modern Warfare 2
in
middle school than I play Rocket League now. I feel like I put in like 70-hour work weeks on Modern Warfare 2 back then, and I'm not even doing that now with Rocket League.
Were you one of those kids that's like, when summer hit, it was like the glory days, like staying up all night, COD, Halo, everything like that?
Just absolutely ruining my life for the summer, basically.
Probably some really awesome memories, though. I'm sure it feels like anytime someone talks about that, it's just like just magical moments to them. Like,
it's just nostalgia, man.
Yeah.
Like, I had this group every single day, and it only lasted for Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
So it's like when I was in middle school, I was in 7th grade, and I had a bunch of my friends were in like 8th grade, and so we would just play Modern Warfare 2 nonstop, just because we would never like. I didn't have the same classes as them, right? Because they were all like a grade above me, and so like every single day I would just get so excited when like people would just hop on, and like every day would be like a party of 5 or 6. I can't even remember if it was 66. I think it was, but yeah, and then like, you see those memes where it's like one day your squad's gonna log on for the last time or something like that, but it's so real. Like it hurts to hear, it hurts to see. It's just like, man, if I go on PlayStation or PSN and look up my profile, I'm gonna see last logged in like 7,000 days or something like that, with my old squad.
Yeah, it is crazy. I'll tell you a quick funny story about that. It's not the exact same thing, but I had a friend that I was really close with. He used to skateboard, and we had like kind of like matching shoes. He bought red Converse, I bought green, and we were just like best buddies. Ooh. And his dad got a new job in a different state, and so he moved away when I was in 6th grade. And obviously, when that happens, you just drift apart. You got your own lives. We're young, the world was not as connected at that time. Yes, I'm a dinosaur. We didn't have social media to the same degree that we have it. We didn't have things like Discord, and neither of us were really big into games, so it's not like we were hopping on Xbox to play. So He goes his own way, I go my own way, and of course we stay in touch every now and then. We saw each other probably once every 5 to 6 years, and so on. And so, anyways, probably about a year ago, his last name was Jones, and this guy pops into my Twitch chat, and his name is Game of Jones 22.
No way.
And he I can't remember what his first message was, but he was like, "I'm sorry if this is weird. Are you Caleb?" I was like, "Yeah, like what?" And then he's just freaking all caps, "Yo, it's Taylor. What's going on, bro? How are you?" And so we like reconnected through Rocket League. He said that he saw me popping up on his TikTok feed because he's like trying to improve, and so he was seeing some of those like old.
Wait, what? He plays Rocket League
Yeah.
too, like all games?
Yeah, he plays Rocket League, and so he saw me with some coaching content, and then he saw on the TikTok, he was like, "That looks a lot like my old buddy," and so he ended up coming to the stream, and it was just
Wait,
like this.
no way. You look like the same as you did when you were in 5th grade.
I mean, I don't know. I guess you could probably see some differences, or I mean, some similarities.
Was the mustache there in
the
5th grade?
mustache wasn't there yet. No, wasn't
okay.
there.
I don't know how he figured it out.
But I thought that was such a magical thing. He just pops in, and like I said, we were best buddies. So it's kind of like what you were talking about. But we actually got to reunite after not really logging off, but just, I don't know.
Dude, that's awesome.
That. Yeah, it was fun. So you say you played Modern Warfare 2. Are there any other games that you think are like pretty big part of your childhood?
So I remember way back when my dad my dad had an SNES.
That is way back.
It is. It's not my generation, but we just happened to have one, right? And so I would play, and like one of the first games I played was Super Mario World. And I just remember just running that game like nonstop, just constantly playing it. And then I kind of didn't play video games like I did like on and off, but I never had like a game. I was never like, I guess, addicted to a game, right?
Yeah.
And so basically like 5th grade, I played like RuneScape for a year, just got bored of it. And then I didn't play video games again for a while. And then 7th grade was when I actually went to like a community center where I would play basketball a bunch. And they had this thing called a teen room. And in the teen room, if you were 13, you could get in there. And I finally turned 13. I'm like, yo, what's up, players? Like, we out here. And we had like, they were called like teen greens. It was like little cash that you could do to get to buy snacks and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I make it into the club, right? The ID check me. They're like, yep, you're 13. Come on in. and so anyway, they play Call of Duty 4 in there.
Yeah.
And this is like, Call of Duty 4 is already like a year old, like World at War is already out. And so I play COD 4. I go in the teen room every day after playing basketball, and I just grind COD 4. And I'm like, I'm going to buy the game. I have a PlayStation at home. Get COD 4, grind the shit out of Call of Duty 4.
Yeah.
I'm just playing it nonstop. And then eventually I just start whooping on everybody in the teen room. And they're like, bro, this guy's sweating. What is he doing? Because I was just playing so much. And then eventually Modern Warfare 2 comes out, and I just start grinding that. So it was like, RuneScape in 5th grade. 7th grade was, probably like 6th, 7th grade until COD 4, and then Modern Warfare 2. And I kind of just stopped for a bit, but I played Minecraft for the longest time. And so like basically middle school until I graduated high school, I was playing Minecraft.
Yeah.
And that's when I was making like YouTube videos about it and stuff as well. But those were basically my biggest like game addictions.
Yeah.
Like my longest period of time where I actually played those games was those 4. And then obviously Rocket League as well.
And how old were you when you picked that up?
Rocket League?
Yeah.
I was 18. I had graduated high school.
Yeah.
Just my friend was just like, yo, you should play. I was like, yeah, I don't know. I used my last $20 in PayPal. And I was like, all right, fine. You got me. I'll buy it. And then I just played for like 14 hours a day. Instantly addicted. I just didn't hop off.
It is. I don't want to talk about it too much, but it is obviously just such a great game. I don't have a ton of experience with other games. I played some Pokemon, as I'm sure all 90s kids did, on the Game Boy.
I never played Pokemon.
Did you not?
No, I borrowed my friend's Pokemon cartridge for, what was it? Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Not the original Game Boy, the Game Boy Advance. I had the cool little flip one,
Oh, you had the SP with the light?
Is that what it was? No. The Game Boy was just like a flat one that didn't flip, and then the Game Boy Advance was the one that flipped, like a square.
Bro, that's the SP.
Is it?
Yes, you
Oh,
got that's the first generation of Game Boys that had like a backlit screen.
oh, well, I had that one, but I played like random stuff on. I barely
Yeah,
used it. And then my friend was like, "Well, you never played Pokemon? Here, borrow my games." And he gave me
yeah.
like Red, I think. Pokemon Red, and then I played it for like 20 minutes, and I was like,
Nah, bored.
I'm bored. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna go play God.
yeah, that's fair. I mean, I definitely understand. I think there's different, different games attract different people. I think that's what got me about Rocket League. It's just a sport, and I'm so into sports. I went to college
Hmm.
to be a coach, and I wanted to coach at the high school level, and maybe eventually make it up to collegiate or professional, um, if things went my way. But yeah, I love sports. I love competing, and I think Rocket League is like the perfect translation of sport into the digital realm. It's like
Yeah,
it's just you have a body, like we all humans have bodies, and we have a car, and it's just like how much practice can you put into that thing and make it perform as well as possible. In baseball, there's no different kits, right? It's not like you have these
yeah,
different heroes or anything like that. And so it just reminds me a lot of sports. But yeah, Rocket League special game, and an unbelievable amount of time poured in.
yeah.
So
Unfortunately for a lot of people as well.
right. So outside of games, is there anything else that was like a big part of childhood? I know you said you played some ball in the gym. Did you ever play any organized sports?
I just played like in a little league for baseball when I was young,
Okay.
and I kind of just like followed my brother. So like
Yeah.
they were playing baseball, and I was like, okay, I'll play baseball too. And it was probably because it was like convenient for my parents and stuff
Right.
like that. Just drive us all to the field at the same time, sort of thing. But when they started playing basketball, I was like, well, I don't like baseball anymore. I'm gonna start playing basketball. And so that's when I started playing basketball, which was probably like sixth grade for me,
Yeah.
up until like eighth grade. And I played throughout high school as well. Like I would just like I never actually tried out for my high school team.
Yeah.
I probably thought I was too short or something, but I did play a lot with the kids who made the team. I would just go play like in a gym. Like I would just be like, yo, or well, anybody would just invite. Just be like, yo, you guys want to go play here? I'd be like, yep.
Yeah.
I would just show up a bunch, and then yeah, probably like junior, senior year, I just stopped playing. Probably completely then.
Yeah.
But I could still ball. I know
You can
people
ball
talk
out.
about, yeah, I could ball a little bit. I know people talk about, I know bringing up Rocket League again, but at events they
Dude.
want to do like a basketball thing.
Yes.
I wonder if I say like, oh, I could ball a little bit. I know I'm better than average. I know I'm better than the
Yeah.
typical Rocket League player. That's for sure. Like I saw Scrub Killer shoot a ball. That shit was embarrassing. So I know
Scrub
I'm
catching
better than that,
strays, bro.
yeah. I mean, it was the whole Dignitas roster. I'm gonna be honest. It wasn't just him.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah. So I'm good there. But by comparing to like the rest of the players who actually play, I don't know where I stand, because I know
Right.
like Beast Mode plays, Arsenal. I think Daniel plays as well.
Yeah.
So I
Dude,
don't know what I would do with that.
I would absolutely love literally any physical competition to be done at events, because that is what I feel like most confident in, because that's what I
Yeah.
did. I played football, basketball, baseball. I ran some track when I was in junior high. I was like, I love sports, and I say this with humility, but I'm just very confident in my physical ability. I put a lot of time and effort into it growing up, and it's something that I'm small, so I'm not like I was never going to have a future in it. I just don't have the body for it. But yeah, I think you say that you feel pretty confident about being better than like the average Rocket League player. I can definitely echo that sentiment and
Yeah.
also share that confidence.
So it's just, I mean, after the Dignitas video, how could you not, right?
Yeah, true. Maybe, hey, you know what? Maybe,
But in football, they would probably still own us. I don't.
Yeah,
Like,
100%.
I'm not a
100%.
footballer.
I'm not either. I played soccer, but I was just fast. I had like no footwork. It's funny because my football receivers coach was the soccer coach, and he would a lot of times recruit seniors to come play that were just like athletic, and then he would throw them in spots and see if it worked. And I was he put me at striker, so there's two of us up top. And dude, I'm telling you, I probably had through half the season probably 100 opportunities. And I'm talking about some of them are freaking inside like the 6-yard box. And I cannot score. I am terrible at kicking the ball. But
No.
we eventually figured out like, okay, well, here's what we can do. We can put you on defense, and you can get beat once and then catch up with the guy and then get beat again and catch up. So I could play I could play good defense in the sense that like I would slow them down. They're gonna get around me because I'm gonna like jab at something stupid because I don't have the knowledge of soccer, football. But I could always recover and get back. So a little funny story there. I'm trash at soccer, but it was super fun. I had a lot of fun. That was probably
Yeah.
probably one of the most fun like team environment sports that I had and I think it was because I knew I was not good. I wasn't taking it serious. It was just fun.
Yeah.
And, I had a really good time with those guys. It was also something new because I didn't play my whole life soccer, like baseball all the time. I played basketball every single year, football, same thing. But not soccer. They just overlap. It overlaps with baseball, so I didn't have time. Okay, well, let me ask this, and I'm sure this will maybe feel awkward, but I think it's interesting, and I don't mind to share some of mine as well if that will help. But do you have any just proud moments or accomplishments? So, some things that like stick out to you as you got to where you are now in life that maybe or maybe even just a shortcoming. I like I said, I can tell you some of mine. There's a couple of moments that are really, I just take a lot of pride in them, and I look back and I think about them very fondly. Is there anything like that stands out to you as you got to where you are?
Yeah, did you because it wasn't supposed to be like Rocket League stuff, so is that like
That's fine.
fine
Yeah,
if I share?
absolutely.
Okay, yeah, I just want to be sure. Okay, so yeah, I mean there's one specific moment where I remember qualifying for season 2 Worlds.
Yeah.
And I remember like running out of my room because my parents had no idea what I was doing. I was just in there gaming, locking the door and
Oh,
gaming. I'd be like,
okay.
I was like, yo, don't mess with the internet. I got a
Yeah.
tournament. That's basically all I would say.
Yeah.
Don't mess with the gaming. And so I qualified for season 2 where they basically had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, I freaked out with Insol and Zane and Chad in the call. Oh my God. And I get up and I like run outside because I was like, I have to tell somebody. And I run
Yeah.
in my room and my mom is the only one home. And I was like, I'm going to Amsterdam. And she was just like, what? Yeah.
Let's go.
And she was just super hyped. And then I like kind of explained it a bit. She
Yeah.
half understood it, but she's like, okay, like it's real, it's like, you're not getting scammed. I was like, no, it's real. I can show you everything, all that
Yeah.
stuff. But then also, like after that, my dad came home from work and I'm like 18, probably maybe 19 at the time, 18, 19 at the time. My dad comes home from work and my mom's like, tell him about what happened today. Tell him what happened. And I told him, he's like, what? Like the same exact thing, like confusion, like he's happy for me. And then it was just this moment of like, of that, like you could tell like they were super proud of me
Yeah.
because first off, they had no clue what was going on. But when I actually showed
Mhm.
them what like I was doing in my room, they were just like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
you're actually like really like good at this. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So they were like super happy, super proud for me. And so that's like a moment that definitely sticks out.
Yeah, that is incredible. You could see that light bulb click, right? Like the demeanor change and
Yeah.
I I feel like I have a similar experience. It's obviously not the exact same thing. It's not like a moment like that, but my parents were very hesitant whenever I left my job to pursue this, and I understand that completely. You care for your kid and you don't want them to be in a tough position. Um, and obviously the first year was difficult, but I knew it would be. I think anytime you're starting a new business or a new venture, it's not going to be easy right out of the gate. But yeah, that second year when things started going a little bit better and I was able to, live on my own and take care of everything and save some money and stuff like that. Well, it's kind of the same thing where they started to understand it and become proud of the thing that they were really, I mean, scared of in all honesty.
Hmm.
So that's pretty awesome. Anything, anything from when you were young, any type of like, school accomplishment or even any gaming things? Did you do any like tournaments and stuff before Rocket League? Were you competing with like Warzone or anything?
No, I was a loser, bro.
No, don't say that.
No, I honestly, my whole like school career, I don't know how
Yeah.
you'd say that. I mean, that tells enough, honestly. But my whole yeah, I mean, basically, I gamed all
Yeah.
throughout middle school, like I told you.
Yeah.
Um, in high school, I just did like freshman year was fine.
Yeah.
Sophomore year, I think I like got like a one bad grade, but I didn't fail a class or whatever. But then
Yeah.
like junior year, I was like really bad. And it wasn't even that like I was playing games so much. It was just that like I just didn't try.
Mhm.
And at the same time, I was just like very down on myself
Yeah.
a lot. I could never pinpoint a reason why, but I ended up like why I was down on myself, but I ended up starting to do homeschooling like the second semester. Like it was that bad to
Oh
where like I
man.
just didn't want to get up and go to school and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so I started homeschooling the second semester of junior year. And this is like beginning of junior year, I failed like one or two classes. And then at homeschooling, I think I failed one. So like it got better. But
Yeah.
at the same time, it was like, it was actually easier doing homeschool. But at that point, because I basically spent like 5, 6 months just at home. I still talked to people. I still hung out with people that were at my school and stuff. But senior year, I was actually like incredibly excited to go back to school because
Oh.
I didn't mind homeschooling. I
Yeah.
actually found it much easier to just like I honestly, dude, it's so weird. I could go on a whole tangent about like homeschooling with that because
Yeah.
I found it so incredibly easy to just like research a topic myself and like have the information right out in front of you and just read it compared to a teacher explaining it. Some things were easier with a teacher or whatever, and you
Yeah.
still had a teacher with homeschooling. Regardless, I was super excited to go back senior year, and I did. And I was like, I was so happy. Like every morning I was so hyped to go to school, which is like the weirdest thing for me to
Yeah.
say because like I did not like school. Um, but the reason I say like I was a loser or whatever is because my I didn't like school
Yeah.
at all. And like my junior year was pretty bad in general. And so like senior year I was super happy. I was super happy to be back. Got good grades, passed all my stuff, graduated, and then I found Rocket League. Actually, you would assume that dropping out junior year or whatever, I probably was already playing Rocket League or something.
Right.
But no, that was 2 years before it even came out.
Well, I'm glad there was a bounce back there. It is weird how sometimes in life, like you just have those funks, you just have those things, and like you said, you couldn't even really pinpoint it. And then sometimes, you just struggle for a while, and I don't know. I mean, I definitely can relate to that. There's been times where, like, there's not really a catalyst for me to feel better, but it just
Hmm.
kind of starts happening. You just feel better, and then like you're describing, where the very thing that you were not excited to do, you then became excited to do. Like
Yeah.
you were unhappy at school and didn't enjoy it, and then the next thing you know, like you're missing it and you want to go back. So it is weird. That's actually, I love, like, I don't know, this is so cheesy, but like life lessons and like finding them in the weirdest things.
Yeah.
And there's like a specific thing where that exact thing happened. Like I was just devastated about something that happened. I was so upset and I was beating myself up, very down on myself, similar to what you were describing. And then, dude, not even 6 months later, I was literally grateful that that thing happened. It's so
Right.
weird how you just have that total 180. But that taught me that, in the future, when I have these bad moments or I have these things that really get me down, to, like it's okay to be sad, but don't dwell on it, and don't beat yourself up too much, because I mean, who knows? In a few months, you may be glad that it happened that way, or you may have
Hmm.
a new opportunity because of that thing, or whatever. So I think that was pretty valuable lesson for me to learn, that sometimes the bad things can end up turning into good.
Can I switch up to Rocket League real quick
Yeah,
again?
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, you actually say how like that thing happens and you're devastated, and then
Yeah.
a good thing comes in return afterwards. There's like a phrase for this or like a name for what this is, but I
Yeah.
cannot remember. It's not like karma, but kind of the opposite of karma, I guess. Um, anyway, so basically, like a couple months ago, when we were doing Regain,
Yeah.
we actually had like a sponsor that we were talking to, and we were getting like we're getting pretty close to like locking it in and stuff. And it was like a big deal, right? This is
Right.
like a solo effort to try to get the sponsor
Yeah.
between like me and James. And so we basically were about to lock it in or whatever, and they just kind of dip at the last moment.
Oh,
And like it's happened to me many times, not with sponsors, but just like random stuff where it's just like, a lot of people would be devastated in that situation, but like at the same time, it's like I feel like it just happened to me so much to
yeah.
where it's just like you can never just get your hopes up. Like if it's not like signed or
Yep.
whatever, if it's not
Yep.
completed, like it's not gonna happen, right? That's like my mindset. So like I can't get too excited about something and then be like completely let down
Right.
because I don't have the expectation that it's going to happen.
Yeah.
And so you know, when that whole thing fell through, I was like, okay, well, whatever. Let's just keep looking. Like, let's just move on and keep grinding, keep continuing. You know, you said you don't want to say grind, but
Yeah.
yeah, keep going on, keep continuing, and then eventually, like, I mean, it led to something even bigger and better with
Yeah.
Ally, and like the thing that James Watt and I are doing with the, you know, 5 tournaments, $70,000 in
Mm,
prizing, and it's just like like that that downturn, I guess, just can only lead to something better, bigger and
yeah.
better.
Yeah. I love that. And I think uh, to build on that, I guess, um, something that I have just personally dealing with the mm, difficulties or issues or woes of being a creator, you know, tying yourself to these numbers and allowing it to affect your mood and how you feel about yourself and whatever else. But you kind of talked about it, how where things got bad, it was a bad situation, but you didn't let it bring you down. And I think that's something that's really important in both directions, actually. And I say that because I got on this crazy high where my stream was blowing up, TikTok blew up, it was free to play Rocket League, and everything was, you know, just
Yep,
exploding.
to the moon, baby.
And then it's not going to continue to do that. It can't forever. And so then this happened, and man, I was just struggling. And so I think just trying to stay like mellow and like in the middle, right? Like
Yep.
don't get too high, don't get too low. Don't let anything like pull you to the extremes. You know, I'm not saying don't celebrate your wins, and I'm not saying you can't be sad for the bad things, but you know, let them happen, feel those feelings, and then try to get back to that healthy mid ground, because you know both of them can be toxic in different ways. So that's just kind of
Yeah.
it's a lesson I learned, and it was cool to see you know describe a situation there that it was the same thing. So
I think I think free to play was a big learning lesson for a lot of creators because I
yeah,
had basically the
yeah,
same exact thing happen to me. Also, free to play was when I stepped down. I was like, oh, I'm
right.
making so much more money doing this. So, like, why am I going to keep playing pro?
Oh
Which,
yeah,
to be
okay,
fair, it worked out. But,
right.
like, I'm not like looking back, like, no, take me back, Jason, please. But yeah, it worked out perfectly. But yeah, I was like, free to play, like, this is going crazy. Rocket League's here, just stay forever. I'm
Yeah,
getting million views a video. I never got
yeah,
that amount, but whatever. But yeah, I think that whole thing was a learning lesson. And now if something similar like Unreal Engine 5 ends up happening, I'm not gonna keep that same mentality.
yeah.
And I mean, I just learned. Like I
Yep.
know I learned.
Yep. Stay mellow, stay in the middle. But that's important
Yep.
too, though, to be able to take those experiences and learn from them and you know, just be better prepared for similar situations in the future.
Yeah.
So I know we talked about growing up, playing some games. Obviously, you're still invested in the space now. You got content creation. Do you have any other interests, things that you like to consume, whether it's music, movies, shows, or maybe even create? I know you talked about how you did some Minecraft stuff in the past. What are some of the interests that you have outside of Rocket League and content creation?
Um, I do
It's
have
pretty
one.
all consuming, so
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know it's tough.
I do have one answer that I'll say like after this. I feel like I don't have like a
Yeah,
big interest in much. Like I don't have like a hobby
yeah,
outside of it. I do really enjoy making content.
yeah.
And so to me it like
It's fun.
um yeah, the whole point of this is to not talk about like our career or content or whatever, but at the same time I do see it as like a hobby. Like I enjoy
Yeah.
it that much to where I don't consider it like my career. I love the concept of like getting people together and making a video and like seeing it actually come together
Mhm.
with Arid, my editor. Like seeing it be complete is so satisfying. And then
Yeah.
like even if a video does bad, I'm not like, oh man, I'm not like down to the dumps. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
obviously like it did bad, but you know, it's more so like a learning thing. Like, what can I do better?
Mhm.
What can we do better about this video? And so like I do like to upload and then like stare at the number, but you know, I'm not sitting there all day. You know, I check it and just be
Yeah.
like, is this a 1 of 10? Nah, okay, well, what can I do better? Um, but yeah, there's that. And I think if I were to say I did have any sort of hobby, which doesn't sound like a hobby at all, I'm actually super interested in like investing,
Yeah.
finance, real estate, like all that stuff. Like I have actually done so much like research over the years that I just like reading about it. Like it's
Yeah.
something that just interests you. So you're more inclined to just actually look at it and read it. A lot
Yeah.
of people find that stuff boring, but I find it super interesting.
Yeah. Well, those are certainly I'm trying to think of a word. I guess beneficial will work. Those are beneficial hobbies. You know, those are things that are going to have a positive impact on your livelihood. And um, I think a lot of people, you know, they get upset at gaming and they say it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's a waste of time because the point of it is to have fun and unwind. Now, I think anybody can abuse anything, right? Like if you
Right.
sit here for 15 hours a day and all you're doing is gaming and you never talk to anyone, you don't take care of your body, you don't take care of your mental health. Yes, that is.
I'm glad I said 14 hours a day before because 15 is the deadline.
I think maybe subconsciously I went like above your limit. Like Rizzo, you're good, healthy at 14, but 15
yeah, I'm
too
chilling.
much.
That's fine.
But you know, I think hobbies don't have to be something that's productive, right? It doesn't have to be some sort of self-improvement. It doesn't have to be something that is like producing value financially or productivity wise or anything like that. It can just be chilling, doing whatever it is you like to do. But those, you know, those things that you like to do are obviously going to have some form of kickback in different ways. So that's, like I said, beneficial that you enjoy those things. Well, I'm very interested. What do you? How are you about music? I feel like this is something that sometimes people are very like apathetic about, and then sometimes people are very opinionated. So I'm curious, where do you land on the spectrum of
wait,
of music?
okay, wait. What do you mean people are all about like certain genres and stuff?
Certain
like people are very
genres, certain
opinionated?
artists,
Okay.
and like there are some things that I'm certain I could say to specific individuals that would immediately set them off and just get them heated. But it's a real opinion that I have.
Yeah, when you just say what do I think about music? There's two things I instantly think of.
Yeah.
I think Athena's music is incredible, and she needs to make more. Sorry, she might be in the other room, so I just want to be okay. But she needs to make more because I think it's incredibly good, and she doesn't give herself enough credit.
Yeah.
And then also the other thing is I don't actually really listen to music besides when I'm on stream. I don't like I basically only listen like I said when I'm on stream. That's when I listen to music for the most part. And the only reason I really started listening to music was because I started streaming and I saw that a lot of people had music in the background. Like my life would just be like dead silent if I never started streaming. Like I don't like do background music or whatever. Like I'm not listening to music right now. It's purely for like usually when I'm streaming and maybe when I shower. That's about it.
Some shower tunes. Do you have any? I'm assuming not, since it's not very important to you. Do you have any preferences with music? I know for me, streaming background music, I can't have words in it. I'll get distracted. I want to start singing.
Yeah, you're a big lo-fi guy.
I love lo-fi music, dude. Anything that's like gonna bring me down a little bit, just like chill,
mellow.
That is what I'm about. I like that. I like classical music, piano, any type of lo-fi. I love jazz music, elevator music, restaurant music. That stuff that's just like, it's just a little bit of tunes in the background. I like there's a playlist I listen to in the morning. I do meditation, and it's just called Peaceful Meditation. And some of them are just like, it's just like forest ambiance. You know, it's not even a song. It's just like wind blowing in the trees and stuff. That type of stuff. I love that so much. It's just calming.
Yeah, no, it is. Wait, so you said you had an opinion that's gonna offend people. So tell me, what is that? Give me your. Nah, I wouldn't say.
No, this is hot. This is hot.
Okay, yeah, give me a hot take.
This is hot, and people are not gonna like it. Drake is not good.
Okay.
He is not a good artist. He is fantastic at creating radio bops,
bangers.
But there is a very simple template formula to that, and that's why there are a lot of people that are not super. They're not super explorative or experimental with music, and they don't put a lot of. They put effort. They work hard. If they didn't work hard, they wouldn't be able to do what they do. But they don't put a lot of like soul into it. You know, there's not a lot like.
The creativity's gone.
The creativity's gone, right? They're just pumping out things that they know are going to cook them up money, and he has perfected that. Literally perfected. He knows how to cook up a banger. Right? He knows how to have loads of people blasting his music in their car, and that is a skill, and he deserves to be praised for it. But for him to be put on the same level as someone like Kendrick Lamar is blasphemous. It is absurd. And anyone that thinks that they are even remotely similar in terms of skill, creativity, impact is.
I'm actually kind of with you once you threw in Kendrick Lamar. Like once you threw in Kendrick, I was like,
people say,
yeah, the music is very different, and
it's very different.
a lot of Drake stuff is similar to a lot of his other songs. It feels
yes.
like
Drake.
Also, I don't really like his new stuff. Sorry, I miss the old Drake.
I miss the old. I do like older Drake, like older. I think the album was Nothing Was the Same. I think it was.
Yeah.
I don't know, but some of his older stuff I like more than I do now. But the thing is, I kind of get it because he's conquered it all, right? Like there may not be a whole lot to like reach after, or it may be tough to find inspiration at the point that he's at. And I'm not trying to be a hater or anything, but it's one of those things where like the fans ruin the person or the content, right? Like a lot of people hate on like Rick and Morty fans or something along those lines, right? They're just like insufferable. It's the same. It's the same thing there where like he recognize his greatness, but for what it is. Don't extend it to something else because he is not experimenting. He is not pushing the boundaries, and he is certainly not being vulnerable in the way that some of these other artists are. So anyways, yeah, I know there are a lot of Drake fans, and there's obviously nothing wrong with being a Drake fan, but I am not a fan. I think he again, phenomenal radio bops, but I think that's about where I would draw the line. But yeah, I'm a big hip hop fan. I love that music. I think it, to be honest with you, I used to love it on a more shallow surface level. Like I loved it for party music. I loved Lil Wayne. I went through this phase.
Oh, yeah.
So I was in a fraternity in college, and we had all kinds of social events. And I had this thing where I had a Lil Wayne wig. So it was like a red hat that had like dreads tied into the hat. And I was just Lil Wayne for like whatever social event it was. So if it was like a jungle themed, I would just be Lil Wayne, but like make myself like wear jungle attire or something. So it was so stupid, dude. It was so goofy. I would do like I would get like
every event,
every single one. I'm not kidding. We'd do like a throwback or like a hoedown or something, and I would have a Lil Wayne wig on and like jorts or something. You know, it's just ridiculous, but it was funny. It was funny. I really enjoyed it.
That does seem pretty funny. I would laugh at that.
But yeah, I like I said, I liked it on a more surface level. Like I didn't really, I was the person that would have been banging the radio bops, right? And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But as I dove more into the music, a lot of these artists are, pouring out very important things to them. And they're saying things that are, real experiences for them. And I think as someone that is ignorant to a lot of that stuff, I've even learned a lot. And I think it has like helped me grow my perspective towards others and their experiences. And I think that is super important to just learn from others and be open to ideas and experiences and feedback even from others. And I can just say, as someone that is relatively uncultured in the sense that like I grew up in Arkansas, I didn't do a ton of traveling. I've not really been to any other countries. I haven't even really seen like when I went to Newark in season 7, right? And before the 2 days before that, I went up to New York to visit a friend, and it's like this crazy culture shock. Like I had never seen or ridden public transportation. I had never seen that many people walking on a block. I didn't realize that there were people that lived in buildings that were 10 stories tall, right? Like that stuff was just so, I didn't know that happened.
It's one of those things where like it exists, right? There's like, because there's no way you didn't know New York was a thing, but at the same time, it's like until you see it, it's you just kind of don't believe it, right? It's just one of those things.
Obviously, I knew the place existed, but like even the the lifestyle that is lived there, like the fact that people didn't have cars, like because I hadn't experienced anything other than having a car and driving to the grocery store, I wouldn't have thought about that. But
you're mind blown that somebody just goes down like 15 elevator floors, then goes to the bodega, a block away, and then and
they buy their food for the evening, cook it up. I just find it so it feels healthy. It feels like progress. Even if I'm not doing anything, I feel like I'm learning through like absorbing or experiencing, even just seeing different types of life or experiences or cultures or whatever. So, yeah, I think that is a big part of why I like that kind of music. Um, and I'm the opposite of you. I love music. I have it on all the time.
Mhm.
Um, literally
Do you
all the
sleep? Do
time.
you sleep to music?
I actually don't. Sleep, dude, I am so blessed. I'm like, hit the pillow, zonked. Like,
Oh,
immediately I
you're
am out.
so
Yeah, I'm
lucky.
super lucky.
Honestly, that might be a thing because you also wake up at like
Yeah.
7 a.m., don't you?
Yep.
Yeah,
Six.
so I
Six
mean,
actually.
also ever since we got our puppy, I kind of just hit the pillow and I'm just
You
it
tired,
takes
bro.
okay to be I'm gonna say this and you're gonna be like, what? It takes me like 15 or 20 minutes, which is not hitting the pillow and going to sleep. But by comparison, I used to stay up for hours just
Yeah.
laying in bed,
Yeah.
and so
Dude,
it's a much bigger change.
I feel, and I know everybody's different, but I feel really bad because I am such a worthless individual if I don't get enough sleep. Like if I have
Yep.
less than 7 hours, I'm gonna be awful. I'll be cranky. I'll be, I won't want to do anything. I'll just be in a sour mood all day. I won't be very kind. Um, and so like I definitely feel for the folks that they end up struggling to fall asleep or stay asleep. I know some people end up waking up a lot throughout the night. That would be so tough for me.
Yeah, I used to be the same way with like not sleeping. I think if I'm
Yeah.
like under 6, it's still pretty bad. I think I had a day like 2 3 days ago or something where
Yeah.
I slept for like 5 6 hours and I took a nap. I took a nap
Oh
because
yeah.
I was not feeling it. But like I actually used to not be able to like function with like 7 hours of sleep. Like I would just not even be human. Um, and it was actually like partly due to like I had like anxiety, like pretty bad anxiety. And like if I didn't sleep, it would just be much worse. It would just
Right.
be so much worse. And so like my day was just absolutely ruined if I didn't sleep. And then I have to deal with that basically for like the whole day
Yeah.
until I actually got some proper sleep. But now it's gotten so much better to where like I can actually just sleep for 7 hours and be like, oh, okay, my day is not
Not
chalked.
chalked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's funny though because you say the dog, but it definitely is just finding something that can get you moving a little bit, or
Hmm.
even just to get you
Give
active
yourself a
here.
reason.
Yeah, yeah. That's right. Give you something that will activate your brain, activate your body, something to get your body feeling tired at the end of the day. Um, which I will tell you, as you age, it becomes easier to make yourself tired because you don't have just endless. When I was a kid, dude, I was bouncing off the walls all the time. Like,
I was thinking about this the other day because I saw some kids playing and they were just like crawling on like a restaurant floor or something and they were just like running around and stuff and I'm just like, man, like I was just thinking about like myself, like would I ever crawl on a restaurant floor? No, that shit would hurt my knees. Like no, I would never do that.
yeah,
Like that's all I'm thinking about is like that kid's knees hurt. Like
no,
why is he doing
they
that?
they don't care either.
They don't
They're
feel
just
pain.
freaking zooming, dude. They're
Yeah.
just living life. Kids are just pure. That was one of my favorite things. Before I started doing this, I worked in elementary school for 3 years, first through sixth grade. And bro, they are just, it's crazy because I'm learning lessons from them. So we're out on the playground. Christopher and RJ, they get into a fight. And by the time that I walk them to the office, like we're halfway there and they're already homies again. Like they've already forgiven each other. I'm just like, dude, what?
That was beautiful.
If I'm so angry that I'm fighting someone, I'm never their friend again. Like we're not cool ever again. But they're just all right, whatever. We're over it.
Yeah, I'm done.
But yeah, they're just kids are I find it inspiring. I think they do a lot of things. Obviously, they do some silly stuff. They don't have life experience yet, but they're awesome. They find wonder in the simplest, easiest things. But yeah, kids were awesome. I enjoyed that. Well, I don't want to keep you too long. I know we've been here for a little bit. Is there anything? I'll ask this question. Is there anything that's been on your mind? Anything that maybe you just want to get off your chest? It doesn't have to be about anything in specific. It can be anything at all. And if not, that is totally fine as well.
I have been
But the
thinking
floor
about
is yours.
something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Would you ever make food content?
Dude. So the thing is, cooking and stuff like that, no. Because actually, maybe yes, because it would be funny. I call myself a microwave main.
Oh, no way.
I do not, I have no experience cooking. I have no idea what to do. I have recently just gotten into taking better care of my health and diet. 30 hit, and it was just like this mental punch where like everything shifted. All these things that I used to think are stupid and I don't need to worry about it, or I would ridicule it or whatever, for some reason became important to me just like overnight. And health and all that is one of them. And so I've been doing a little, and when I say a little, I mean like eggs and sausage in the morning, which is like just pour it in the freaking pan and let it heat, right? Like it's not even cooking. And then chicken, I'll make like 6 chicken patties or chicken breasts for the week. So that's my extent of cooking. So cooking stuff, like maybe for the memes, but if you had asked me this a week ago, I would be like, I would laugh at it and say no. But after that sandwich, dude, after that sandwich, I think it would be incredible. Food critic would be, I think it'd be life-changing. I think you would go through experiences, on a regular basis of food that just, do you know that, I can't tell you what episode this is, but that SpongeBob thing where he's in the kitchen and his body floats out of, like that green soul floats out of his body. You see the memes, the picture of the memes. So that is how I felt after eating that sandwich. Like I was levitating. Like I had gone to a higher plane.
You had an out of body experience from a sandwich.
Yes, I did.
Was it actually this good?
It was so good. It was just I'm actually
okay. Look,
I don't have the vocabulary for it. I don't know how to describe it.
We're friends, right?
Yes.
I mean, you consider us boys, right? So the fact that you didn't tell me after you ate the sandwich where I could find a sandwich like this myself just kind of hurts.
I know. I should have been more vocal about it. It was a big deal, but I'm gonna be vulnerable for a minute, and I'm gonna expose myself. I kind of wanted to gatekeep it. Me and Seabell talked about it, and we were kind of like, man, that was really special, and like I don't really know that I want to share that.
Are you serious?
Yeah. I feel some shame now that I'm saying it, but
I feel betrayed. I really do.
I think that's fair. I mean, when I say it, I feel like that was not a good thing to do. I feel sad, but
so now let me turn the tides here on you.
Yeah.
Can we expect to see a Seabell and Hootie food review channel in the future?
Let me talk to him about that, and we'll see what we can do. What I can say is this: it's definitely something that would be difficult where I am because I don't have just a ton of like options, right. And I think that, I mean, that's obviously a big part of it. I've eaten at plenty of restaurants, and I've done a little bit of traveling like in this little southern area around Arkansas. But dude, I'm not even a little bit exaggerating or trying to be funny or like hamming this up at all. I'm so serious. I've never had food that made me like feel those feelings. That was crazy.
And was it just the sandwich, or was it like the rest of the places you went in San Diego?
No, it's just that sandwich. And more specifically, it was the sauce. It was the Dijon mustard. Like the sandwich was good, dude. Don't get me wrong, but that mustard was just like
a sauce can absolutely carry, I would say, any dish, but definitely a sandwich.
It was,
or a burger.
Yeah, it was magical.
So good.
I want to apologize for not sharing. I do feel bad about that.
I'll think about forgiving you.
If you go back to San Diego, though, go to the Field. It's an Irish pub right there on the gas lamp on that street.
I'm gonna look for it. Actually,
you should ask Sis about it. He may know about it. The funny thing is, I saw a tweet from Tryhouse a couple of days later, and I think that he maybe like streams every time he goes to San Diego from within that restaurant. I don't really know if I'm missing some context there or something, but
wait, Tryhouse does?
Yeah. He tweeted from, I don't know. I don't know. I'm like I said, I'm probably missing some pieces of the puzzle there, but I did think it was funny. But yeah, sandwich, fire.
I found it.
The Field, bro. I'm telling you, delicious.
Yep.
It was like a little bit of like, it was like a little, there was a little bit of, a very slight amount of bitterness.
Oh, that's good. You don't
want to overdo that.
We were talking about kids earlier, right?
Yeah.
I don't understand how kids hate the best flavors in life.
I was that kid though. I was so weird.
Like acidity, like
Yeah,
pickles
yeah.
and
Lemons.
like or like pickled onions and stuff like that. Give me some of that. I just like
Yeah.
I would just like eat a taco, and if it's sour, I'm like, yeah, sure. Why
Yeah.
not? You know, just give me something different.
Something different. Yeah, I think that's probably what it was too, is like that was such a unique flavor.
Yeah.
I can't, dude, flavor is not proper. Flavor makes me think of like one taste, and that was not what happened. Like the texture of it was special.
It seems like a delicacy, honestly.
A delicacy. I want to call it an experience.
Yeah.
It was something. I mean, you bite into it and it was just, like I said, slight amount of bitterness. There was some sweetness as well. There was this after, it's not a taste, after feel. Like you could just, like if you took too deep of a breath or something, yeah, it's like you could, I don't know, man. It was crazy. It was delicious. It was amazing. If anybody watching goes to San Diego, go to the field in the Gaslamp District, because that corned beef sandwich is rocking.
Oh my God, man.
All right. Well, hey, if you're set, I'm set. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for joining us. Like I said, this first episode of Outside the Grind. We'll be doing this some more with some different folks around the scene, and just get a little look into that person's, I don't know, background. I don't know what to call it. Just chat with them a little bit, and we'll see how it goes. But Rizzo, thank you again, man. I appreciate you taking some time to chat with me.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
All right. We'll catch you all next time.